having this up last night, but we're going to be looking at number 3 this morning. So what we're going to do is we're going to start back here in this back left corner, because if you notice on this part, these front legs are curved. So, and we don't want to start on a curved surface. It doesn't work out. It's not a great time. So starting in the back left corner, we're going to go over here. Okay, so we're going to go up 4 to that next corner, like so. Then we're going to go back 3 to create that ledge for that platform, up another 2, okay, because we see that over here, all right? And if you notice that this space corresponds with that single space right there, so we only have 2 left of that, so we just go up 2 from there. Then we go back another 4 to reach that back corner, and then all of those platforms are 3 wide, so I'm just going to come to the right 3 for all of those corners to define them, and then connect. Okay? And then remember that single space, so we're just going to drop down 1 here and 3 all the way down here. Okay? And bring that forward to connect there. All right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of place a corner where we're going to see this curved edge. So the part is a total of 14 units long, so I'm going to count to the right 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay? That is how far forward we're going to go. But if you notice, again, we still have that curved corner. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing a corner where I'm mapping out where that curve is going to go. Okay? Right here. So when I connect this all the way forward, all the way to the right of this part, okay? See if I can actually get my line right. Okay? It hits there, but I just need to curve it slightly to connect to the other side of that corner. And then if you notice, both of these legs are too wide, which leaves us with a gap of 3 in the middle. Okay? I have to continue another 1 over back to finish out this leg in order to create that 2 wide leg. All right? From there, we can see that even though this is 4, we're taking 1 away to come down to this corner, making this distance 3. So we're going to repeat the same process for the curved corner that we just drew, just transferred up 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay? This is going to be the corner that we got to draw. I'm going to bring it all the way over here. Okay? Connect that, bring that over another 1, and then drop that down in order to make that a solid part. Okay? What you guys are going to see is this is technically that corner that we just drew. Okay? And I want you to notice that it's sticking off of the part. All we've done is taken that flat corner and rounded it over, so we have a nice curved surface right here. Okay? So what we're going to do next is we're going to hop over 3. Okay, we're going to leave this gap open. Okay? In order to define that back leg of the part. Okay? So I'm going to go through the same process. Okay? And make my curve. Okay? This one's going to look a little sharper because from the perspective, we have a smaller angle that we have to go through. Okay? So I'm going to transfer that corner up 3. Again. Okay, show myself that I'm just rounding this corner over. And then on the top side, I'm going to round that over and connect it all the way to the left-hand side of the part. Okay? What I want you guys to notice is that here, we have to connect this. So if you guys remember back in whenever you're doodling on your paper, when you draw a cylinder, Okay, technically you got that curved edge behind it, but I want you to notice how we're connecting the outside edges of those circles together to create that cylinder. Okay, that's going to be the same concept here. So you're going to drop down from the outside edge. Notice how this bottom curve is technically underneath and behind the part. For isometric views, we don't draw what we don't see. Okay, so I want you to erase that just a little bit to clean up that corner. And boom, there we go for all of our front corners. If you drew these guidelines here, make sure you erase them before you turn in your work, okay? And that's another distance of 2. All right, so now we have to look at that inside circle, which is only going to be a half circle, okay? And if you notice, the top of that circle, or the far left part, should line up right here, okay? So that's a distance of 4 away from this inside corner, so I'm going to count to the right 4, and we're going to end up with a line there. All right? The circle is only as wide as the gap that we have here between the 2 legs, so that's going to be a total of 3 for the diameter of our circle. And I'm just going to leave that open because we only have to focus on the 1/2 of the circle, okay? So we have a total distance of 3 here, okay, that we have to cut in half, which is going to look something like that, all right? Again, we have a total distance of 3, and if we cut that in half, which that wasn't very good, draw that again, okay? There we go, all right? That's going to be where our crosshair is going to lie for our circle, okay? So even though we're not drawing a full circle, we still have to have a center mark to help locate it by, and then when you're done drawing that, make sure you erase most of it to show that you have a tiny crosshair right in the middle for that circle, okay? Otherwise, where the large crosshair that you drew met your box, draw 3 points where it crosses the boundary of that box. Those are going to be the landing points for all of your half circle to make sure that everything remains lined up. Okay, so from there, do the best you can to draw a circle, or a half circle, I should say, and then you're just going to connect it all the way to the right, to the top points of those legs, and then don't forget this bottom line for the leg to show that, hey, it's actually something, right? So that is it for the isometric view for number 3. Give me a quick second to switch over for our isometric, I mean our orthographic views. All right, so here we go for the orthographics. We're going to start with our front view, okay? So starting over here, we know that the part goes up 4 before we hit this corner, and then another 2 to hit that top corner. We know that all of that is 3 wide, and then we have this little gap of 1 right here to drop down to, okay? We know that the total part is going to be 14 long, and the trick with this is that since there's no actual defined corner here on the legs, it's just going to disappear on the very flat edge that we see here, right here, okay? That's where it stops curving, so that's where we're going to see our corner, so to speak, in our orthographic view, okay? So we're going to count all the way over to 14 to the right from our starting point, and that's going to be our ending point. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, okay? We know that those legs are 3 tall, so now we can just go through and connect all of our corners because that's all we have for our object lines. Okay. All right, so now we have to go through and define where our half circle is going to be. So we know that 4 away from this inside edge is going to be the very left-hand side of that circle, okay, according to the front view. So counting 4 in from this inside corner, we're going to have a hidden line here, okay? And if you remember, our diameter is 3 for this circle, okay? It spans a distance of 3. So that means our radius is going to be 1.5, which is going to be 1.5 blocks away from where we marked where our hidden line is going to be, okay? And then you're just going to have one hidden line because this is all open in between here. So the next hidden line would technically be this corner that we see right here, which is covered by this space right here where I have the other red mark, okay? So no hidden line here because it's hidden behind the object line, and this is all we have for our front view, okay? For our side view, okay, transferring that over, okay, we know that the legs are 3 tall, all right? This is another 1 going up each, so we have 3 and 4 for each of these. So I'm going to go over 3, up 2, because we have to go up in order to reach that top part, and then I'm going to go over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, in order to mark this outside corner right here, okay? Then we have to drop down another 3 to reach this corner, and then another 3 to reach the bottom of the part, okay? Then we have each of our legs being 2, so from either side, I'm going to count in 2, and make sure all the corners meet up. So connecting all of that, we're going to see this. Okay? So that's all we're going to see. Okay? Our edges, these 2 object lines line up with either side of our half circle. So all we have to do is mark the center point, which with our center line right in between both of those. Okay? And please note that the center line only breaks where it's 3 tall on this part, because that's how tall this circle is if we were to measure it from this top here down to the bottom of the part. Okay? So your center line should only break the bottom line and the line that's three above that. Okay? All right. Moving on to the top view. Okay? Just going to keep trucking along. All right? So, kind of bringing back that fake corner that we have, we're going to have one right there because if you remember, it does reach a total length of 14, but from the top, we're going to see this curve, right? So, technically, we're going to have 2 dots right there to tell us that we need to curve between those 2, all right? We're going to come all the way over here. We need to go back 7 because 3 plus 4 is 7. So 3, we have that corner, then another 4. Go over 3 to match the distance that we see here on the front, okay? Then we just need to copy our back leg over here, and we're matched up there, okay? So for right now, connect all of these lines, because we always want to leave our curves for last. It just helps us, okay? And then we're going to connect all the way over to our first dot. All right, so we know that we have to curve between those 2, miss that blue dot, just like so, bring those up and down, so we have our total width of 2 here for each of the legs, and we have that gap of 3 in between, okay? So all we have to do is mark out where our circle is going to be, our half circle. So again, noting that that distance is going to be 4 away from this inside corner. I'm going to count over 4. We know that the diameter is 3. So we should be looking at something like that. Okay? Then just transferring this up 1/2 away from here. We're going to have a dot to mark where we are here from the front view. Just bringing that straight up. Then here, it's going to be 1.5 away from any inside edge of the legs. So 1.5, boom, right there. We can draw our crosshair to lock it in. We're going to have our 3 points. Okay, those are our landing points for our half circle. And then all we have to do is curve the best we can between both of those and then connect them all the way over here. Okay? And that's it for number 3. I'll hope to have number 4 up either probably by Monday morning so you guys can keep up with the rest of the class. Okay? If you have any questions, make sure you email me or send me a message on